Alright, so we got 4 Naruto episodes to go over, so... I started the episode after the normies were up to, because I know the beginning... I know original Naruto way better than the second, because I've rewatched original Naruto like 3 times in my life. And I know the beginning of Naruto Shippuden pretty well, because I have rewatched that once or twice, I think. But past this point, I don't think I've ever rewatched. So this is interesting. It's like right at the point, which is very convenient. Everything starts happening. Like the whole setup for the rest of the show starts now. Because in Naruto with Shippuden, there's the Kazekage retrieval arc, which is basically... That arc is kind of like, let's catch up with all the characters from part 1, post-time skip, except not really, because we don't see a lot of the characters until after the Kazekage retrieval arc. I don't think you see Hinata, Shino, and Kiba until after that, and you don't see Ino or Choji until after that. You do see Shikamaru at the beginning, because he is having sex with Tamari, and Naruto sees it, not really, but they are walking around, like, discussing the Chunin exams or whatever, and that's how they, like, tell everybody what level everybody is. Everybody's a Chunin, but Neji is a Jonin, Tamari, Konkuro are both Jonin. Shikamaru hasn't become a Jonin yet, but he should have. Tamari's like, come on, do it. Can't be dating some fucking Chunin out here. And Gaara has become the Kazekage, which transitions into the whole arc being about saving Gaara. So that's all fun and good. Then we get into the second arc, which is basically Sasuke. We've got to catch back up with Sasuke. What's Sasuke and Orochimaru doing? It's sort of like continuing things post-time skip. Because instead, the first arc obviously focuses on the Akatsuki, because Deidara and Sasori go to get Gaara. And it's sort of widening the world more, because we go to the Sand Village more so than just flashbacks or like brief shots where we head back and see what the Kazekage is doing, even though it's secretly Orochimaru in disguise. They've got their shit together. They've been improved mostly by the influence of Naruto, because Naruto had a massive influence on Gaara. And they've sort of become the Leaf's #1 allies. We see that at the end of part 1 as well, when the Sand Trio show up to save, who they save? Kiba, Shikamaru, and Rock Lee. It's a fucking sick moment. It's all good. So that's what the first arc. It's basically the Akatsuki has been promised. It was like the Akatsuki couldn't do anything for 3 years. They were still setting shit up. It's been 3 years. They're here. Let's go. Kakashi is on the mission as well. They'll have fun. Kakashi gets Mangekyo there, or he already had it, but he uses it for the first time or whatever. It's a whole fucking thing. I don't remember the fucking specifics. Well, I do, just not about the fucking Sharingan, because it still confuses me. Then the second arc, of course, is Kakashi's out. Let's introduce Yamato. Let's introduce Sai. It's basically the Sai arc. We sort of get an introduction to him. He has a whole arc about understanding himself. There's the thing about the paintings. It's really cute. They go to Tenchi Bridge. Naruto, like, unleashes it. Sasuke is way stronger than Naruto. That's the reveal there. Sasuke's been training a lot. Doesn't use Karin, but he nearly does. Oh, is that what the move is called? The fucking dragon lightning thing? It's super strong. Orochimaru says, Sasuke, let's just leave. And Naruto doesn't save Sasuke again because he hasn't learned what he did wrong last time. It's a whole meme. They fail again. Naruto fails a lot in the beginning. Doesn't really do anything. MathWiz talked about this in their video. We'll talk about that in a second. I'm just going over how well structured the beginning of Naruto is, even though a lot of people wouldn't think so because they think Naruto is bad or just cobbled together because they're idiots. Then we go into Shikamaru Shippuden. We go into the Shikamaru arc, which focuses a lot on Shikamaru. Naruto is off training because Sasuke is way stronger than him. He needs like an ultimate jutsu. Asuma dies. We have the whole Shikamaru thing. It's really good. A lot of focus on Shikamaru. Ino and Choji are reintroduced. We see them. The Leaf gets fleshed out more. The third Hokage gets fleshed out through Asuma, as we learn that they were father and son, even though you could have put that together earlier. It's a whole fucking thing. Then after that, the shit just blows open, and basically we've reintroduced things. We've done things with Shikamaru. We've introduced Sai. Naruto has gotten noticeably stronger. He's supposedly surpassed Kakashi at this point. We know what Sasuke is. We've seen him. Like, everything's been reintroduced. That's the beginning things. Because you can't just go into world building and setting up for the end game at the beginning of Shippuden, because you have to have active things going on so people are excited. And we go over things that people want to see. Akatsuki battles, cool fights, what's Sasuke doing? And then after that, it's basically, where do we go from here? And everything fucking opens up. Because we played the clip last time of Toby stopping being Toby in the woods. I had mistakenly remembered that was the first time it was revealed that Toby like wasn't just a goofball and actually was something serious. In episode 125, the first episode I watched, it's revealed. Firstly, Conan's revealed for the first time. Pain's name is said for the first time. And Toby reveals that he is Madara Uchiha and he is the actual leader of the Akatsuki. So, like, the very next fucking episode. So that's some cool shit. Because Data explodes. That's what happened at the last episode I didn't watch that the normies reacted to. And just basically the world building has begun. Pain is not the fucking leader as it's been kind of implied for, like, the last 125 episodes. It's some big shit. Some other shit happens in this episode that I'll go over in a second. I should probably go back to chat before we do that because we just went through a fucking preamble about setting up Shippuden. Basically, it's like the part in One Piece where they have the intermediary arcs where, just chapters which have been getting adapted into anime this week and last week for One Piece. But, it's fucking really cool shit flashing around the world, and we have a bunch of people to flash to that we're interested in and we want updates for, and like things are being developed and being like these mini reveals of mini mysteries and shit like that. It's real good. Let me read chat. Damn it, thanks. He has too much free time to do it. I did it on purpose because why would you spend your time enjoying yourself when you're actually productive? Yamato, you have an impressive memory when it comes to Naruto. The normies have been fucking reacting to this shit, right? You must be reading off something. I was not reading off anything. Well, I'll go now. I wish you all a good day. Should I watch Naruto? I don't care if there's a lot of filler. If it's cool, bye. Naruto's good. You should watch it. You should probably read it. And skip the filler. The filler's bad. Or maybe Chio. What are we going on here? That One Piece episodes were pretty good lately. Don't spoil it. Miller will freak out. But yes, the reveals in those, I already know what happened in them because, spoiled and everything in One Piece, but they are pretty sick. Let me read through what I wrote down about chapter 120, episode 125. It's just interesting that, like, the first episode I watched was the shit that I really wanted to remember because I didn't remember what order all this shit was revealed in. So it's really cool. This is when it's revealed that Toby is Madara, and also the first time we see Conan. It's more of a wrap-up episode. They put Kiba over for his sense of smell. Characters are interacting more than I remembered. This is a cool thing about Naruto. I just remember, like, Naruto has the reputation. It has, like, such a negative reputation that a lot of things just aren't true. So a lot of the reputation is just, like, all of the side characters are forgotten about, and they don't have little moments. I started to realize this wasn't true last time when we were watching clips, and Kiba actually gets a lot of focus in the fucking war thing when Sasuke shows up, and he's like, King, like, fuck you, Sasuke, we don't forgive you, or whatever. And I was like, oh, it's a cute little, like, Kiba moment where we're putting in there. He didn't forget about Kiba. He's not focusing on Kiba because this story isn't about Kiba, but he gets little moments like this, and people shit on Kiba all the time because he lost to a fart or whatever. It's a whole fucking thing. Who the fuck is following? Jerry Jackson. Welcome. But they put Kiba's sense of smell over. It's like he can still smell Sasuke even though the dogs can't anymore. It was just like a cute little, like, that didn't have to be in there, but Kiba's little moment here was cool. Because nothing comes of this. They don't catch up to Sasuke. But it is cute. Characters are interacting more than I remember. It's just like Hinata says things to Naruto, and it's like a cute little moment. Like, the characters do interact. There is some awkwardness because the dub isn't that good. And, like, the anime really isn't that good. The way they present ideas, I know, just would be better in the manga to the point where it's probably I should just read the manga, but, like, I'd have to start that from the beginning. I don't really want to do that right now. Maybe I'll do it in the future. But, like, all the awkward phrasing, especially in the Jiraiya stuff later, where, like, the voice acting just is awkward and bad, and, like, the lines are just awkward and bad because it would just be so much better in the manga and wouldn't be awkward like this. And I feel like a lot of the criticisms for Naruto is that it's awkward like this and that it, like, stalls, which the manga obviously doesn't do, and that it, like, over-explains things, gratuitous flashbacks that probably don't happen in the manga. Like, a lot of this stuff would be cleaned up in the manga and it would be better. It's just a fact of reality, I guess. And this is cutting around and catching up episode. It's not as good as One Piece, but it's cool and always coupled with reveals. I wish I could remember more specifically what happened. They reveal how Sasuke gets out of, like, Orochimaru's, not Orochimaru, out of Deidara's explosion, where he like transports to the snake realm by summoning the snake, but the snake still dies. The fact that the snake just dies and is like, fuck you, Sasuke, and Sasuke's like, well, I had to do it. I had no choice. Then he catches up with the team, he collapses, they sit in a thing, but then Naruto's group is coming in, so they have to escape. It's a whole thing. I can't remember specifically. Is this the episode where Naruto confronts Itachi? Because that is a based scene, and it is really good. Actually, no. It's set up for a later scene, because that exact scene happens later, but, like, with more context. But it's just sort of like Naruto is very negative to Itachi because he doesn't know shit yet. It makes a lot of sense. It's just like Itachi is, like, very curious about Naruto, which develops into a much bigger thing later on. Now we'll move on to episode 26, I guess, here. I guess this is the Itachi Naruto one. This fucking scene is actually good. There is a lot of awkwardness here. This is another thing that Naruto gets criticized for, which is kind of valid, is about how obvious it is in most of the things it's doing. Like the fact that they just basically confirm that Jiraiya is going to die here by having Tsunade cry about how, like, it's clearly like, this is sort of an art to things that's interesting, because I think about this in Mad Men a lot. When it comes to the end of Mad Men, where it's like the final scenes of these characters together ever, and Naruto, by doing this scene, can sort of do something that Mad Men couldn't. Mad Men can't have, because you don't know it's going to be their last scene together unless you're rewatching the series. So the first time certain scenes don't resonate as much as it does in rewatches, when you realize, holy shit, this is the last Peggy and Pete scene. Holy shit. It's cute that it goes out on this cute, like, little positive note. Whereas by explaining, like, screaming at you that Jiraiya is going to die and that this is the last time him and Tsunade are ever going to talk, so let's talk about everything and have her cry over him. It's like the catharsis of, like, understanding that is pretty powerful. It also does spoil, obviously, that Jiraiya is going to die if the fucking... In Naruto, always there's a thing where if a character gets a flashback, they're going to die. And then the next 2 episodes are Jiraiya flashback stuff. So both of those things contribute to, like, obviously, Jiraiya is going to die. But still, the weight of the scene is really good. This is where they reveal that Minato is Naruto's father, that the 4th Hokage is his father, and that they mention Kushina here. And Jiraiya acts like he doesn't remember Kushina, even though they had a relationship, so it's kind of a little retcon thing here, unless he's being sarcastic. Like, 2 episodes later, though, there's a scene with Jiraiya and Kushina. I don't know why he's like, oh, what was her name again? Like, you definitely remember her name. It's like, Naruto has weird shit like that. Weird mini retconning issues like that are annoying a lot of the time. But still, whatever, it's fine. Let me read my actual notes here. The Jiraiya and Tsunade talk is great. Probably would have been better in the manga. The reveals, because there is some awkward acting here. The Naruto is sexist script will have to happen at some point. Like, when Jiraiya later is saying goodbye to Yahiko, Nagato, and Konan, he's like, Nagato, you have unlimited power. Yahiko, you, like, could change everything. Konan, you sure will grow up to be hot one day. I hope to see you again so I can perv on you. It's just like, god damn it, Naruto. Why is every group got 2 males, 1 female, and the female's, like, fucking only idea is to, like, only goal is to be pretty? It's like, oh my god. But, it's just like the Asuna speech where he's dying and he says, Choji, you should, not eat as much, maybe not get as fat. Shikamaru, you could probably be Hokage to someday. Ino, you should definitely not let Sakura steal Sasuke from you, and you're pretty hot too. It's like, god damn it. Can't she be a great ninja too? Or is this only for the boys? A little weird, Naruto. Probably would have been better in the manga. The reveals keep coming as Naruto's mother and father are revealed for the first time. Jiraiya calls Naruto his grandson here, which is a real cute moment, and acts like he can't remember Kushina's name. I already talked about that. They have a cute moment of disbelief about Orochimaru actually being dead. They go drinking. Tsunade throws up, which is cute. It's a lot of, like, coupley shit. Like, and Tsunade, like, there are, like, multiple teasers here that Tsunade is in love with Jiraiya. Even in the flashback to the war, I guess Dan was dead at this point. But, like, Jiraiya, like, she asked Jiraiya, like, what he's going to do after the war ends, and Jiraiya's like, I guess I'm going to go journey around a little bit more. And Tsunade's like, she, like, says, why don't you just settle down in the village or something? And she, like, blushes, and it's, like, a clear indication. I didn't remember this at all. I was, like, certain... Because the way the Tsunade relationship with Jiraiya is characterized, especially in Jiraiya's flashback, is, like, Jiraiya is not in love with Tsunade. He just likes her because she is hot, and he likes all the hot girls. As part of his... Like, his original goal is just to be a great ninja so women will be impressed by him. And he even says this, like, he is perving on Tsunade, but then whenever she, like, pisses him off, he calls her flat-chested or whatever, big meme gag, she punches him. But then, like, he has an internal monologue, he's like, when I become super strong, then Tsunade will recognize me. But then he says, like, right after that, but it's not just Tsunade that I want all the pretty girls to recognize me. So it's very much characterized as, like, the crush Naruto has on Sakura of, like, he just thinks she's pretty, but long term, he's not really in love with her. And he ends up with Hinata, and Jiraiya doesn't end up with Tsunade. There is also a pretty obvious, like, Jiraiya is fucking this girl scene where, like, she's, like, grabbing onto his arm and saying, why don't you do something to me, and things like that was a little explicit. I don't know if the dub, like, fucked up and was just being awkward, and in the original it wasn't as obvious, but just, like, this girl who might be a prostitute where Jiraiya's trying to write and she's trying to distract him by being like, let's fuck, and then, like, it cuts away because, like, commotion happens outside and Jiraiya has to run outside. It's just, like, I don't know. The joke is always that Jiraiya doesn't get the girl, but it seems like he was getting that girl. But I liked it. I want Jiraiya to get the girl. Why not? But the moment about Orochimaru being dead and them, like, saying, I didn't think Orochimaru would ever die, but the news that Sasuke's killed him has traveled throughout the world, it's real cool. Itachi and Naruto scene with the crows, spoiling Jiraiya's death like that. We talked about all that. Let's move on to 27. Let's power through this, then I'll check chat. All this was really interesting to me. The Jiraiya flashback begins. The bell test, and he's an idiot. That was all cute. Actually showing the bell test. They teased this in the original show that they had done the bell test, but only the 2 bells and shit. But they actually succeeded, so it isn't actually like Kakashi's bell test, where the point was they have to learn teamwork. They don't actually need the bells. And Jiraiya just loses. And it wasn't like, if you lose, you get sent back to the academy or whatever. And then, like, the third basically starts chastising Jiraiya. He's like, Jiraiya, you ain't doing shit for no reason. You better come up with some fucking reasons to do your shit. And, it's cute. Little Jiraiya's cute. His voice actor is a little weird in the dub. Sounds just like Obito's mini voice actor. But then Jiraiya ends up trying to do the summoning jutsu without making contact, and we head to the Toad Realm. This is the first time we actually see a realm where the summoning jutsu animals live. It's a really cool part of Naruto. I like Mount Miyamoku a lot. It's real cool with all the images. The old frog gives him the prophecy and things like that. It's all good. What else happens? Let me go through my notes. He has no talent and no goal outside of impressing girls. His love for Tsunade is young and childish. He doesn't even think she's pretty and doesn't want to marry her. He wants her and all the other pretty women until he's inspired to learn the summon. After, like, his only motivation, he doesn't have, like, I want to become Hokage. Jiraiya never wanted to become Hokage. This is made explicitly clear. He's a journeyman, not a dude that stays in one place. So when he learns about the summoning jutsu, he's just like, that shit's cool as fuck. I want to learn how to do that. So then he goes to train with the fucking frogs, and then the frogs give him this prophecy, the grand frog, and that gives him his basically goal in life, to search for his pupil that will eventually change the world. It's really well set up that he has like 6 pupils, or 7, including Naruto, and he's like, which one is it going to be? Is it going to be Minato? He is Hokage, and he does like stop the 3rd ninja war. So maybe it was him. Then he finds the kid with the Renegan, and he thinks maybe Nagato will change the world, but it turns out he might be the one that destroys the world, because the prophecy is Jiraiya will find the kid that changes the world, but he doesn't know if it'll be for great destruction or for great peace. And then obviously we know that he trained Naruto, and we know the show is called Naruto, and that Naruto will become Hokage someday. So it's sort of spoiled that it will be Naruto, if you have any intuition at all. But the point being, or rather the, like from Jiraiya's perspective, the fact that he found like these 3 like unbelievably good ninja, the fact that Pain is like the weakest out of them is pretty cool. It's like a real cool, like from Jiraiya's perspective, like he found like 3 potentials. So yeah, it's just some cool fleshing out stuff. Then we visit the frog dimension, travels the world and listens to different people with ideas about how to save the girl. Some want to pray, some want to learn self-defense, some want to profit from war, is summoned back to the village to participate in the third war. This is how the episode ends. He starts journeying around and he is depressed that this is sort of when the theme comes into thing that we'll talk about the Mathwiz video later, but in those videos, they talk about the main thing of Naruto is cycle of hatred and sort of stopping it and whether or not people can be peaceful. And Jiraiya's whole journey here is to figure out how peace can be achieved. So he goes around and basically he conveniently overhears a bunch of conversations about how to save the world or whatever. This is when they start to bring in the fact that shinobi are just immoral and they kill everybody, which beforehand they hadn't really established. But because in Naruto, the era in which Naruto is set is the most peaceful era ever in the world of Naruto's history. Flashing back is always really depressing. It's a cool little detail of Naruto doesn't know how well he has it in the era he lives in. That kids can go to school and they don't have to go to war and shit like that. But he meets a bunch of interesting people. He meets one dude as it's raining at a bus stop. There's no bus though. There's no buses in Naruto, but it looks like a bus stop. And he just talks to him. About the war is about to happen, are you a shinobi too? And the little dude is making puppets and he's I'm okay that the war is happening and that humans will always be at war because I can profit off making puppets of war. So to me, war is useful and I don't really seek to stop it. Then there's another one, he comes to a village that keeps getting burnt down by ninja and all they can do is pray. Their solution to saving the world is just we have to pray for forgiveness, and if we die it doesn't matter because we'll go to the afterlife, or if we pray God will intervene and save us. Then he goes to somebody else and he overhears this thing in a bar about how this old dude is teaching kids how to defend themselves basically from ninja. So he's just it's not really Jiraiya doesn't like the solution. It's just creating more conflict, right? If a ninja attacks you, I'll train you enough so you can kill the ninja and don't get killed yourself so you can protect yourself. It's not really an answer to the issue here. But then at the end of the episode, he has to stop his search for peace because he gets summoned back to the village because he has to do his duty in the war. And this is when him, Tsunade, and Orochimaru will become legends and shit. Let me check chat real quick before we do the final episode. I don't know if everybody left because people don't really give a fuck about Naruto. We're back up to 13 viewers. I saw we were at 9 for a little while. Let me scroll back up. Sorry, chat. If I read the fucking thing, there hasn't been a lot of chat. The One Piece episode, every time I think about how good Naruto is, I just remember Black Setsu and Madara. I don't know. I still think I like Kaguya, but we'll have to get to that point, I guess. The rewatch is happening. He did not say that. He just said that she will be a beauty one day. No, he says, I hope we meet again at the end to her. And it's pretty clearly that's the indication. I think we're talking about the Conan thing. Also, Toby Madara is the best Madara. No, normal Madara is by far the best Madara. Jiraiya doesn't need that sugarcoat Conan. She nearly killed Madara on her own. Yeah, I know. She's super strong and cool. But she never does anything besides being she was in love with Yahiko, right? And then he died and then she's just hanging out with Nagato. Tsunade is my weakness. She's pretty, I must say. Then if we move on to... Fuck you. Just go to the fucking episode number. God, it's hot in this fucking car. This is when we're introduced to Yahiko, Conan, and Nagato. Now, part of the... This might have been the best episode from the bunch. It was really good. Part of the... Of me going back and rewatching this is I've got the fucking normies in mind. I'm when they get to this episode, I'm trying to remember when things are revealed because I know all this stuff already and because I didn't actually rewatch the first 124 episodes. I'm trying to remember what information the audience would have already known and what information they don't. So I know this is the first time we see Kushina. And because they introduce them and they just say this is Conan, Nagato, and Yahiko, and because they've said Conan's name before, I'm pretty sure... When this happens and when these three kids are introduced, like the normies are going to react and be like, oh shit, that's the girl from the Akatsuki. Because I'm trying to think, like, what's the audience's mindset right now? Like, they just met, like, they do know that these kids are going to become Akatsuki members, basically, and they are going to be, like, the big bad guys. So it's a lot of recontextualization that I already know, but I'm trying to see, like, what a first-time audience member would see, sort of the flaw in doing the rewatch like this. So it's kind of like, oh, this is what's going to happen, and it's like, because a bunch of because it's been foreshadowed, it's done really well, because Pain looks like, and this is like the big subversion with Pain looks like Yahiko, but we know Yahiko's dead, and Pain is actually Nagato here, who's using the chakra rings with the Renegon. But the thing is, the kid with the red hair ends up with the Renegon, which is what the kid with the yellow hair, the orange hair, has, which is what Pain has. So you'd think this dude is the one that eventually becomes Pain, and then things start to contradict that. Like, why does the red-haired kid have the eyes when clearly currently the orange-haired kid does? Does he get an implant like Kakashi? What's going on there? So it is a cool little mystery of, like, because when Jiraiya shows up in the Rain Village, he has to figure out, like, who Pain is, and then he realizes, oh shit, it's Yahiko, because it looks like Yahiko. But how does he have the Renegon? How do they all have the Renegon? What happened in Nagato? But then, through the process of the fight, he realizes that it's Nagato, and he writes it on the back of the frog, but it's too late, Jiraiya dies. Lamau. God, Conan is pretty. I never liked her as a kid, because I just used to think that the fucking ring on her chin was fucking a beard, and it used to weird me out. I don't know why I thought that. But yeah, fuck, this is cool. I want to get back to the Jiraiya thing. I've always said I didn't really ever care about Jiraiya. These episodes are sort of making me care about Jiraiya a little bit more. So that's all good. Rewatching shit does that to you. But let me go over the notes here. Naruto is cool and good. Jiraiya's backstory continues as the Sannin are named, and Jiraiya stays in the Rain Village with the kids, then goes back to war, only to be notified the kids have died. That's a brief scene. So the episode starts with them already being beaten by Hanzo, and then he declares them the Sannin, and then, like, later in the war, they continue. I had my timeline all fucked up. I thought this was the second Great Ninja War, and then Minato was in the third, but it's all the same war. Like, Tsunade's brother, Dan, all die in the same war Obito supposedly dies in. That's insane. It's just like the war is like 5 years long. Like, and the timeline is a little weird, because it's like, did Jiraiya train Minato first or the kids first? Obviously Minato, because he's older than the kids. But, like, when did Jiraiya train Minato? Because it seemed like he never really settled down in the village. Like, he was a kid, then he went journeying, then he came back for the war. So, like, in the first year of the war, is that when Minato and the other members of Minato's squad, who we never meet, maybe they're assigned to Jiraiya at the beginning of the war in, like, a certain mission, and that's where he trains them, and the other two die, and that's why we never meet them. But then Jiraiya is supposed to be with Tsunade and Orochimaru making this reputation. So I don't know if there is an explanation, I'm just missing something, or the timeline is just not really that well thought out. I'm not sure. Because he spends 3 years with the kids, just doing nothing. I wonder what the third Hokage was thinking. Fucking our best soldier is over there just training kids and living with them. I'm sure this is when Minato rises to prominence and starts fucking shit up. I'm pretty sure Kakashi's dad would have been alive at the beginning of the war, right? Because I think they say at some point that that Kakashi's dad was stronger than the Sannin, and the Sannin aren't the Sannin until the first year of the war. It's a little fucked up, the timeline. I'm not sure what the fuck was going on, but what was my original complaint there? The timeline's a little fucked up. When Minato was trained, I guess maybe Jiraiya wasn't journeying the whole time. He did spend some time in the village and trained Minato. Presumably, like, Shizune is already being trained under Tsunade, and Anko is being trained under Orochimaru at this time too. Timeline in Naruto is a little fucked up, I think. But yeah, so he spends 3 years with the kids. They're all made pretty likable. Yaku's kind of a little shit. Nagato's very likable, which is interesting because you think Nagato is going to die because obviously the redhead kid isn't around anymore. The yellow kid and Conan are. And the twist is that it's not. This one dies and this one survives, just uses his body as like a vessel thing. It's a whole fucking thing. But like making him the most sympathetic one is obviously because he is pain, is like well done in the future. Conan is very likable too. The scene where, like, they're freaking out because they killed the ninja that was attacking them is real good. A lot of it is real good. This flashback stuff with the 3 kids is really good. The initial thing, Orochimaru just offering to kill them, is like real fucked up. The dub didn't really sell it very well. It was sort of underwhelming. But I'm sure that's really good in the fucking manga. Minato was introduced as Hokage at the light at the end of the war, and the reveal that Naruto was named after the hero in Jiraiya's first book that didn't sell well. I always thought it was a plot hole that Naruto was named after one of the hero in one of Jiraiya's books. And like everybody didn't just know about it since Jiraiya's books are really popular. I didn't remember that they wrote in here that he was the main character of Jiraiya's first book. And the first book didn't sell any well, and then he puts porn in his next book, and that's why it's selling. Kakashi reads the porn books and probably hasn't read the first book, so he doesn't know the connection and why Naruto is named Naruto, because Minato's relationship with Jiraiya and things like that. So that was like a little plot hole that wasn't a plot hole, that I just remembered wrong, so that was cool. The timeline is a little confusing regarding who came first, Minato or Nagato, and Kushina has no personality as she's seen for the first time. It's true, Naruto does this sometimes. I was even talking about this with Mito or whatever in Hunter x Hunter, where the first time Kushina is introduced here, she's like very housewifey. She's just like, oh, I'm real pregnant and I love Minato, when later she'll be like, when we actually get the Kushina flashback, she's like a lot of fun and awesome. Minato also a little boring here too. If Minato's not fighting, kind of boring. Not a lot of characterization there, even later. But he has the coolest power and he's the coolest boy, so he gets a pass. But that's all I read. The next episode is Jiraiya infiltrating the Rain Village. I'm ready for that shit. It should be good. I'm fucking excited for normies to get to like the 4 most important episodes now. That's a little fun. We still have 13 viewers. Let me read chat. I'm gonna open the door at some point here because this fucking shit is fucking hot in here. Jiraiya doesn't need to sugarcoat Conan. I read that one. Conan is basically an emo MILF. I mean, she's not really a MILF. She's like 20, maybe. She's pretty pretty. What up, Pinekit says, are we talking about Naruto? I remember pics of Minato with his squad and Jiraiya, his sensei, yeah. Back in like the Chunin exams when the third Hokage gives his speech. I kind of want to rewatch Naruto now. Just reread it. Somebody reread it and tell me that it's so much better than the anime. But the fights are really cool, and they probably aren't in the manga, because anime is cool. His squad are the people who act as instructors in the Chunin exam in Naruto. Minato's squad? Is that true? Like, can I remember his name? The first one I might, the second one I can't. Minato squad Naruto. It's going to show up with as a kid. That's the one we want. I remember this bald-headed kid. Is this, like, one of them? God, look at little fucking Minato here. Real cute eyes. It's supposed to be these two? That's who we're saying. I don't know. I don't think so. This image is fucking sick. I really like it. This fucking art style. There's a bunch of Naruto wallpapers in this art style that are really cool. I don't know if this is in the manga. They're, like, title pages, like, from One Piece. This is the first time, in the Chunin exam, this is how Obito, Rin, and Kakashi are shown. In episode, kind of under-designed for Rin and Obito. That'd be changed later, but it's cute. The fucking tree is, like, the sickest part of Naruto, that we go down the line like this, and, like, oh, they're all connected. And especially since the next one, number 5, is Boruto, and the third's fucking grandson. It's all fucking sick. But yeah, I don't think so. I don't think it's these kids over here. This is supposed to be older. The older gang. Oh, imagine if Naruto was happy and Rin and Obito were allowed to still live in the village. Minato got to meet little Naruto. Kakashi's over here. Oh, they do this shit a lot, huh? It's even in the actual Naruto. Like there's shots of Obito if he just went back to the village, and it's like, oh, cute. Ichiraku guy is actually Minato's teammate. That's actually a kind of cool twist. That's not how it happens, but look up Team Jiraiya. So Kakashi is just a fake fan. Didn't even read the prequel. Yeah, I think Kakashi is a fake fan. Maybe he did and he just knew. Yeah, the timeline is weird, especially those Hashirama was apparently alive when Tsunade was a child. This is true, but like Hashirama, like, for the timeline to not be contradictory, Hashirama was like Hokage for like a month, then Tobirama was Hokage for like 3 months. And then I kind of like the fact that Hiruzen has just always been the Hokage, and like his founders, like, because this is impossible. It is impossible, because Hiruzen is like 14 when he's made Hokage. Or at least he looks like 14 or maybe 16 when him and Danzo have the thing in the flashback to the second Hokage. But like, Tsunade is supposed to be alive when Hashirama is alive, but this is when the second Hokage dies. He can't have been the second Hokage if Hashirama is still alive, so Hashirama would have died before that. I guess, but like, Hashirama doesn't just say, like, I met my granddaughter when she was a kid. She knows that his granddaughter is like a gambler, which is impossible because the timeline doesn't really make sense. It's fine. I guess maybe she was 5 and she was already gambling, which could be cute. I guess, like, that might work if, like, she was 5 when Hashirama died and then Tobirama was Hokage for, like, a year at most. But he has to, like, resettle the Uchiha on the edge of the village because he's a racist prick. Like, it's all kind of doesn't work. But, yeah. There's no mods around to ban the person writing in some weird... I mean, maybe they're just writing in Russian. Should we ban people for writing in Russian? Is that Russian? I don't know. Or are they spamming shit? It looks like a weird username. I don't know. Dark Conan is 36 years old. Is she really? I was talking about Genma and Raido when Minato was Hokage. Yeah, because they used to teleport around, right? But they weren't in his original, like, squad there with Jiraiya. But that's true. That happens later because they have to, like, teleport the Mizukage to the front lines of the war. And she's like, yeah, Minato could do this by himself, but we learned, like, a 3-way thingy to get you there. How did Hashirama even die? That's never specified. Old age is not possible. Hashirama is, like, 30 when he becomes Hokage. Not really explained properly. Because if Hashirama died of, like, old age, he would have died, like, 20 years before Naruto, like, was born. Wait, maybe no, because the Naruto timeline is fucked up. Wait, he was 14. I thought he was 18 to 20s. He looked really young. Hiruzen becomes Hokage. He could be, like, 20 here, actually. Because look at this. This is supposed to be like the shot of... Oh, yeah, because it's Hiruzen and then the old dude and the old girl. Danzo apparently wasn't in the squad. No, he could be like 23 here. I remembered it wrong. This is a real fucking good moment, even if it is a little contradictory. The old leaf armor, it's fucking sick. And fucking... Danzo over here with his X already on his chin, like, I'm a shit-eating coward. I can't do it. It's sick. It's cool. Naruto is good. He fought with the zombie guy with 5 hearts. Yeah, Kakazu, but Kakazu didn't kill him. He had a fight with Kakazu, but I don't know if he won or lost. Well, he's way stronger than Kakazu. And he didn't die of old age, so it's not like he was older and he was weaker. I'm pretty sure that's like a big thing in the fandom that they never say how Hashirama dies. Hold on. Is it from the sickness that Itachi died from? Was there like a thematic through link of like the goodest boys get this weird disease and they die? I remember that one filler scene when Tsunade finds young Danzo hot. I don't remember this at all. Sounds Kino though. We gotta do fucking Naruto now. Naruto... Jiraiya. How the fuck do you spell Jiraiya properly? Versus Pain. This fight is fucking sick. Naruto fights are the only good fights in all of fiction. Say it again. Full fight. Only 16 minutes. What the fuck is this? Tale of Jiraiya the Gallant. I think that's the next episode. I think Jiraiya dies in the next episode. It's going quick. No. This is the arc thing. Jiraiya versus Pain. I'll keep this up. Hold on. Never mind. Oh no. These are the chapters it happens in, not the episodes. I think I've seen up to here. No, I think we have... No, I think I saw... Oh, no. I watched... No, I've seen... Yeah, it's literally the next episode. Holy fuck. Happens pretty quick. I got a shit ton of notes on these fucking Naruto episodes. You all better get fucking ready. Naruto boys better be in chat. Still better than Hana Hana, we must say. Is Kyle vegan? I am not. Is it going to be a wall of text, only if you oversimplify every theme, point, and being redundant? Racism doesn't always exist like it does in the West. There are continuing deep, dreadful, and bloody histories between many different nations east of the... whatever that word is. How does this apply to One Piece? The strongest fishmen are way weaker than the strongest humans. Well, no, simply race being a real thing is like... And then racism being enacted is... It's not about the stronger thing. That wasn't what I was talking about. No, I just... do I have to read this? Yes, One Piece also does it, and it's so bad. Just Japanese people don't stop talking about race. You're so bad at this. Well, that's a little racist. Just read Fishman Island, and it's so incredibly bad. If racism is bad, if the race is real, that's an even stronger argument. That's what I said, convertible. Literally how? Well, I'll go now, and it's leaving. Next time we fucking ban people. Jiraiya, Mikama. What's next? Fuck you, that's what's next, Spine Kid. Yeah, it's kind of racist, bro. Don't talk about the Japanese people like that. True Convertible's on the fucking money today. We are doing philosophy, but this is not how it works. It's not convincing, and it just ends up telling people... There's not a single person, and I haven't even fucking seen Fishman Island properly, but there's not a single person that isn't rooting for the fishmen to, like, stop being oppressed in One Piece. I'm pretty sure everybody understands the fucking analogy here. Oh, this guy tries to cram his analogy down our throat. They should have just killed all Eldians. Well, Attack on Titan is different. Because people are dumb. But what are you even talking about? Racism in the East is just so pointless it makes no sense. This is not true. But it is different from the West. A different approach needs to be taken. I mean, not really. We're talking about Naruto now. Naruto have racism that much? Not really, right? The Uchiha, I guess. There's so many fucking notes. Naruto Shippuden, episode 129. This one. This is Jiraiya arrives in the Rain Village, and then he starts doing recon, and this is actually really cool. Now, the anime and the dub make Naruto bad, in all the ways that it wouldn't be bad in the manga, and these are things that I'm increasingly noticing, and why you should probably just read Naruto. But the cool fights, man, they're so cool. And they're not cool in manga, because manga can't do cool fights, because it's fucking pages, and that sucks. But, like, Jiraiya doing recon and being so obvious that he's, like, not from here is kind of stupid, but it's only stupid because it's, like, a visual, like, you can hear him being an idiot. And it's, like, a weird thing here. But, like, Jiraiya, if he gets found out, he can kill, like, 99.99 people in the entire world. He's, like, the top 15 strongest people alive. Though Pain is probably stronger than him. So he probably shouldn't. But, like, Jiraiya doesn't usually have to do recon, I assume. Jiraiya starts doing recon, though. It's pretty cool. He talks to restaurant owners and cooks. And then big-boobed Tsunade stand-in, who has quite the back. There was a back shot here, too. Jiraiya goes around, he talks to, like, this old lady that's making pork buns. He talks to this girl that has the skewer thing. And he's, like, trying to figure out what's going on in the Rain Village. He heard that there was a civil war here, but it seems like everybody's at peace. There's rain all the time, even though it's called the Hidden Rain Village. What's going on here? Jiraiya's trying to figure out. The audience is trying to figure out. This would be a lot of fun. I think the first time through. I know the answers to most of these questions because I remember them. So it's like, oh, it's cool how he's slowly finding out all this stuff. But yeah, it's pretty cool. Trying to figure out what the fuck is going on in this arc would be fun the first time through. He learns about Pain and Lady Angel, who are Nagato and Conan, and it's told not to talk about Hanzo, because Hanzo was the dude that beat up him, Orochimaru and Tsunade, gave them their names as the Sannin. And he thinks they're still in charge, and he doesn't think anybody could possibly beat him. But he has to be stronger than Hanzo now, right? He could beat up Hanzo now. I don't know why he's so shocked that, like, nobody could beat Hanzo. I'm pretty sure you could beat Hanzo. Hanzo gets beat up by a samurai dude later in the fucking show. But yeah. He captures her husband. It's a funny little narrative they have going on this really hot, like, big-boobed, nice back-having girl. Her face is kind of weird and round, but she's still pretty hot. And she has, like, a useless husband who's still, like, a genin. And I thought, like, it was going to be subversion, but it seems like she's just, like, a nice girl who's, like, with a dude that she's way too hot for, and she has to work at, like, this, maybe not prostitution because this is a shonen place, and, like, the husband is, like, a piece of shit. He, like, gives up his comrades and, like, says that he's going to be home soon, but then doesn't show up and says he's going to get a gift for her and doesn't get a gift. It was this weird narrative that was going on that was really, like, cool. That's just, like, thrown in there at the start. I'd forgotten a lot of this shit, like, completely. Like, a lot of this shit, to the point where it's like, did I ever know anything about Naruto? It's probably been, like, 5 years since I watched this Pain fight, but it was cool as fuck. He then captures her husband and the friend. The friend, like, isn't giving away shit. He's actually loyal. The husband is gonna give away shit, like, immediately. He doesn't give a fuck. He keeps doing this cool stomach thing, where he, like, disappears out of reality. I guess he's going to, like, the frog dimension, or just going to the stomach. A lot of the imagery is really cool here. I didn't remember Naruto having cool imagery. The Rain Village itself, look at this shit. They're taking their time to flesh out the Rain Village here, which is something I would have sworn Naruto never did. It's weird that the Rain Village never comes back, especially after Pain and Conan are killed. I wonder if we ever go back to the Rain Village and see what was going on, or if it's just ignored. I can't remember. I would have said, like, 6 months ago that, of course, Naruto forgot about the Rain Village. Naruto's bad. But, like, everything here is so good that it's like, they probably did address what happens to the Rain Village afterwards, after Obito kills Conan. Man, it's a fucking hell of a thing. It felt like a One Piece arc. Like, they were fleshing out the place we were going to. Because usually, we're just in a field or we're in the Hidden Leaf Village. But this is like a recon, the arc. We're going into a different village, finding out how things go here, slowly finding out what the fuck's going on. It's kind of like a Whiskey Peak scenario. Or, like, we find out and then there's twists and it's not as good as it seems. Or things like that. It was cool. The new intro plays. This is the first episode where the 6th Naruto Shippuden intro plays Sign, which is, like, everybody's favorite one. I don't like it as much as any of the ones surrounding it, especially the next one. 7 might be the best one, but 6 plays here. It's the one with all the English. It's good. It's cute, and it spoils everything in the fucking arc, but it's cool. The new intro plays. Tickle, Torture, and Frog Transformation get the husband to talk. We talked about this. Civil War is over and Pain killed Hanzo. Scary. They play this up alright. Pain killed Hanzo. Not only did he kill Hanzo, he killed everybody on that side of the Civil War and their families. He literally did a Donald Trump and killed their families. Even the infants. It specifically said that Pain has killed, like, infant children from the other side just so that, like, they wouldn't rebel against him. They also have this cool shot of apparently Pain was under, like, guard. Because I guess this is playing in the paranoid theme. I don't know when we get the flashback to what actually happened to Yahiko, because, like, there was a betrayal or something. That's how Hanzo kills Yahiko and Nagato becomes, like, an evil dude. But this is all redeemed later. Naruto characters do some crazy fucking shit. Pain is a bad dude. He's a bad guy, and I didn't remember that he killed infants, which is stressed, like, 3 times in this scene. Pain genocides everybody on Hanzo's side, his family, even children. Pain deactivates the Yahiko path and opens in a machine. They go into this. There's a lot of cyberpunk shit going on in the Rain Village, especially with the dude. Like, one of the paths of Pain literally has missiles that he shoots at people. It's kind of weird, but it's kind of cool. Yeah, but he just goes in the machines to activate different paths, because he doesn't do the Yahiko one, because obviously Jiraiya would recognize the Yahiko path. Which is sort of the strongest in the main Pain, and goes into the weird, like, Data-looking one. It's cool. It's just so Jiraiya doesn't realize it, and you can have the reveal of the latest episode I watched where Jiraiya's like, oh shit, it's fucking Yahiko, not Nagato, but actually it was Nagato, the misdirect. It's interesting that for a long time here he's just, like, talking like it is Nagato, which is true, but the subversion, and we go into the I think we go into, like, the invasion of the Hidden Leaf thinking it is Yahiko, and he just, like, took the eyes or whatever, or somehow found a way to, because we don't actually find out what the secret of the Paths of Pain is, right? Because Jiraiya writes it on the Toad, but Shikamaru and Naruto can't figure it out, and they only figure it out, like, right at the right moment where, or does Naruto have to figure it out himself? I don't know. I'll figure it out, I guess. A lot of this I only vaguely remembered. There's also a tacked-on scene of Naruto and Sakura going to a festival post the intro. That's cute. It's true. There was, like, a post-credit scene that was not canon, and it was just, like, it was them walking around, and like all of the ghost characters were like haunting them in the woods. You have the one dude that gets killed by Baki in the tuning exams. I forget his Hayate Gecko, right? Is that his name, or is that the one after him that replaces him? I can't remember. If I remember that, I'm a fucking genius. I remembered Baki's name, right? That's pretty cool. And Minato, they're like roaming around the woods haunting shit. It's just like a cool little like references around every corner. Like the sound 5 or whatever are just in the background, like hanging out the thing. It was a cute post-credit scene. Naruto Shippuden Episode 30. Let me switch this so we look a little different here. Can we skip to like the next episode? Shouldn't there be like an over thing? Previous. But I want next. Here we go. We should probably read chat here. Let me get this up. Alright, we're fucking way along there. Did the viewers go down? Hold on, let me go back to chat on my fucking phone. There's no way we're going to be editing scripts tonight. 14 viewers still. People care about Naruto. That's pretty cool. Let me scroll back and read chat, and then we'll go on with the next one. Because the next one has the most amount of notes, because fucking it's cool as fuck. I see a lot of political talk. Why am I Soviets who did that weren't communist? Oh no, are we having the no true communist thing? What is happening in chat? Do I have to read this? How's Fisher Tiger and especially Oda Hime brain dead? Unless you're fully fledged communist, it's likely they'll fuck it up. What is going on here? Toby Rama, Pine Kid is pointing out. Well, I like how the minks see humans as minks with no fur. We'll find out that all races had a similar origin. I remember, well, never mind, that said we're doing philosophy. So people keep killing each other in the East. No, it's actually really woke because Japanese people live in an oppressive, conservative capitalist state against working out its past, and people forged by their environment. Fucking course, there's Japanese people who could do it well, just most won't. Cringe blanket statements, racist no matter how you twist them. Sorry, man. This is true. I'm just going to scroll down and not read everything here. Just everything they do is so stupid. No, don't bite the bullet on that. Oh no, well, never mind, then's trying to give the assist from the background. And Arlong's actions have caused Jinbei an incredible amount of guilt. He's not hand-waved away. What did they do that was so stupid? Conan should have survived. This has been a long time complaint in the Naruto community that it was there's two big ones. There's Sasuke shouldn't have beaten Deidara, and Obito shouldn't have beaten Conan. They're like the two biggest, like, that was an ass pull, man. I don't know if I agree with that. Obviously, Conan had to lose. The way she loses is so cool, though. She's so cool in that moment. And it sucks that she does nothing in the series, because Naruto is sexist. There is a whole note on this again. We'll get back into this. But yeah, it's like Conan is so cool. The fucking billion paper bombs, billion with a B, that go off for 7 minutes consecutively, kill Obito, but he has the fucking Sharingan, I can come back to life for every eye I have bullshit, and he survives. Maybe I'm on the side. Maybe Conan should have won. Bro, they weren't real communists, okay, because commies are based. There's a reason the civil rights people were socialists, lol. Better dead than red. Oh no. Where are the bans, Miller? What are we doing here? Better dead than red is definitely a 1 minute timeout. So what about liberalism is inherently racist? Oh no. Oh no. I'm just going to scroll through this. All it is dishes and BBQ going back and forth. Conservative versus socialist, it seems. Skip the chat. Poor Kyle has go through a cesspit. Don't read whatever that shit is, Kyle. Lol, Kyle will ban me. Well, Miller's supposed to do that shit. I'm not supposed to have to fucking figure it out. You're not sure? I'm not reading the political stuff right now. I would have to have been there from the start. And I'm trying to talk about my beloved Naruto here. Read it again more slowly, Convertible is saying. Let me see. What were we up to? The man who became God. This is the next Naruto episode. Everything's gone flat. I wanted to do so much more on stream today. Naruto Shippuden Episode 130. There is fucking, like, unironically probably 1,000 words here. Leaves the tortured idiots and goes to Cool Frog platform. There's some cool-ass imagery in these episodes. Jiraiya just pops into a dimension that's like this cool frog platform, and he talks to the key frog. I'd completely forgotten about this orange prick. He looking cool as fuck. He's got a long-ass torso that's probably just his stretched legs. It's fucking sick. I forgot how many frogs there were and how many of them had, like, literal good personalities that were fun to the narrative. Like, the ungraceful frog I'd completely forgotten about. He says everything's ungraceful. He shows up here. And I think Naruto fights with him again later, because when Naruto shows up to fight Pain, he has, like, 7 big-ass frogs with him. I remember, like, shitting on the kaiju battles in Naruto, being like, this shit sucks, hand-to-hand Naruto shit. Is always the best. But the fight between the dogs and all the different fucking animals Pain is summoning in this episode against fucking Jiraiya and the frog is really cool. So maybe kaiju battles are cool. He talks to this key frog, mentions for the first time that Minato split the chakra of the Nine Tails into yin and yang. Naruto only has one part. Is this why Naruto's fox is hard to tame and Minato can do it without training? This is true. I don't know if yin and yang... I don't even remember what yin and yang mean. I'm sure I've heard it explained. It's not supposed to be good and evil. It's supposed to be chaos and order, right? Or am I completely wrong on this? But anyway... Is it possible that the reason why Minato can tame the Nine Tails, like, without training at all, it's not just plot convenient, but because, like, he got the nice half of the Nine Tails and Naruto got the mean half of the Nine Tails, because he split it in two? I don't think this had been mentioned at this point, that Naruto only has half of the Kyuubi's chakra. It's pretty sick because Naruto has been, like, said to be the strongest thing in existence in this fucking Nine Tails, and it was only half of it. It's pretty fucking cool, and, like, it reaches the ceiling up, right, of how strong Naruto could have been if he had the whole Nine Tails. He never gets the full Nine Tails, though. It's a whole thing, though. But yeah, it's a cool little reveal. Again, going back through Naruto, like, this is hard to remember what new information is being revealed and what they're just reiterating on, because I know all the information already, about, like, how it was split in two. But they're starting to tease that Minato put the Nine Tails in Naruto so that he could fight the Akatsuki one day, which is true because the Akatsuki's first strike, Obito's first strike, was the day Naruto was born. It's kind of a cool, like, intertwining the origins of these things, and, like, Jiraiya and Pain are seemingly the final bosses, but they're not. Like, we've got Naruto and Obito to get to. And they're, like, the big players in this game, because Jiraiya dies here and Pain will die shortly. But it's really cool how this is all set up in this episode in, like, the first 5 minutes where Jiraiya is just talking to this key frog, and it's, like, so much expositional goodness. It's so fucking cool. And the frog is calling him an idiot the entire time for all of his speculation. It's cute. Naruto only has one part. Yeah, I read that part. Did Naruto get the bad side? I mean, should I get the good side? I forgot this was teased this early. Naruto did, in fact, have shit planned out. True. Naruto the series did have shit planned out. Also, says that Minato sealed the Nine Tails in Naruto specifically to fight the Akatsuki one day. That's awesome. Because he fought what he believed to be Madara that day. That's right, he did think Obito was Madara. Because he called himself Madara when he fought Minato. I think we get that Minato-Obito fight, like, in the middle of the Pain fight when Naruto, like, meets his dad, right? So it's all tying in. Like, the beginning of the arc stuff is going to come full circle by the end of the Pain arc. It's fucking sick. Cool shit. Themes over arcs come into climax. Naruto was good, apparently. Who knew? He knew the threat was coming. Minato did. It's kind of cool that this is, like, Minato's legacy was, like, he knew about the Akatsuki before anybody, and he was figuring that shit out, but he couldn't tell anybody because he died, and he just had to entrust Naruto with the power to eventually be able to defeat them. Sick as fuck. And then he gets revived and he gets to fight them at the end. How cool. Jiraiya teases that the Nine Tails didn't just happen upon the village 15 years ago. The whole time we've just been told that the Nine Tails attack 15 years ago, up until this point in the story, was a natural disaster. But Jiraiya here is like, fuck you. Somebody summon that goddamn thing. Recontextualization, baby, I have written here. I love it. We see Madara here as Jiraiya explains that he could control the Nine Tails, tying this into the recent reveal regarding Madara is awesome. So Madara just got revealed. Obito said he was Madara, so the audience at this point thinks Madara is in charge of the Akatsuki. So Jiraiya bringing him up here and saying, oh, he used to be able to control the Kyuubi. Maybe he's still alive and he's the one that did it 15 years ago. Cool setting up mysteries here. It'll all be changed when we figure out that it was Obito, but it's really cool. We see Madara here. For the first time we actually see Madara. It's not Toby pretending to be Madara. We actually see original Madara in his fucking long-haired, armored-up fucking glory. He looks sick. He looks a little thinner than eventually he will look in the show. There's a little bit of a redesign later, but fuck, it's cool. Madara is like the coolest design ever. Sick as fuck. The frog says Madara is long dead, but Jiraiya doesn't think so. He mentions that the first Hokage defeated him at the Final Valley. This is the first time you get confirmed that Madara and Hashirama are the statues at the Final Valley. Real cool. I don't think that it's been mentioned up until this point. Jiraiya impersonating the husband returns to the village and tells the frog to go straight to Ibiki and that he will be expecting him. That's so cool. The fact that Jiraiya and Ibiki had coordinated this and Ibiki knew Jiraiya was going into the rain village and they were going to contact them with information, and Jiraiya sending frogs back to the village periodically as he gets more and more information, and Ibiki comes back into play because we're going to invade the fucking Leaf Village next, so every Leaf Village character has to come into play. It's fucking sick. It's cool. It's great. Tying it in, Naruto had shit planned out. I used to just think Naruto forgot about characters, but Ibiki is being mentioned here, and it's fucking sick. I don't think that's been mentioned up until this point. Jiraiya, I fucking read all that shit. They had this planned. Kishimoto really did One Piece with the arc world building for this particular place. It's cool. Conan isn't immediately down for killing Jiraiya, but Pain says that they must, and she's down. Conan initially, because there is teasers here repeated that Conan isn't as barbaric as Pain has become. She's still got somewhat of a conscience here, and she is not necessarily down with killing Jiraiya, but when Pain says no, we have to kill Jiraiya, of course we have to kill Jiraiya. Let's just look at Madara for a second. She's like, okay, Pain, we'll do it. Do you think Nagato lets her have sex with Yahiko's path? They were together, right? He'd have to. He'd have to let her. Conan was in love with Yahiko, right? It wasn't Nagato. This Madara doesn't look so cool. Show a cool picture of Madara. Not kid Madara. Whatever, we're not going to show now. We're showing old Madara. Embarrassing. I clicked on here to see the cool image that was from this episode, but they're not going to show it. Unless we scroll down, no. Where were we up to? The confrontation is built up really well. They sort of holy shit, they're going to meet. Conan's going to see Jiraiya. Jiraiya's going to see Conan. It's really cool. They build it up really cool. Jiraiya has some cool-ass jutsus. He does this shadow manipulation thing, which is like the paper dude from My Hero Academia, where he's on the ground and he's just sunken into his shadow. It's real cool. He's super thin, and then he comes up and he becomes a three-dimensional fucking bloke again. That was really cool. I'd forgotten Jiraiya could do that. Shadow manipulation, he calls it. Jiraiya immediately realizes it's Conan and starts hitting on her, which was a little weird. Jiraiya seemingly takes it very well that they're in the Akatsuki. We were led to believe Jiraiya thought they were dead up until this point, but we later find out Jiraiya says, no, I heard over the years that you three were still alive. So he's not as shocked that they're alive, but he is shocked, and he'll later get madder that they're in the Akatsuki and call them idiots. And Conan's just you have no idea what happened to us after you left. She's super mad. Jiraiya wants to know who Pain is and thinks it has to be the Yahiko or Nagato. Their discussion here is awesome. Apparently Jiraiya had heard they were alive. Should he have killed them back then? Conan says you probably should have done what Orochimaru suggested and killed them back then, because then all these people wouldn't have had to have died. It's the whole thing. Jiraiya doesn't think so at all. He's a very moral man. Jiraiya, he's nope, we shouldn't have killed you back then. We should be nice. We're going to do this the morally virtuous way. Being a bad guy is not for me. I'm Jiraiya. I'm the good boy. It's cool. I like it a lot. They didn't even say hi. Jiraiya's sad about this. He's you didn't even say hi to your old sensei. You just tried to kill him. It's not good. The fight here is so cool. Pain says he chose this path. Pain then shows up, but it's not. It's Pain with the Renegan. So Jiraiya immediately thinks it's Nagato. It's not the Yahiko path. It's the Data one, so he doesn't realize immediately. It's cool. He will not waver for his old friend, Pain, that is. He really thinks he's a god, Pain, that is. Pain says he still plans to create a massive forbidden jutsu to end war. That's why he's collecting the held beasts. Does Nagato really believe this? I don't remember what Nagato believes at this point, because I don't know if he's down, because there's 7 plots going on, because Naruto is a little convoluted at the end. So I think Pain actually thinks that they're going to make this ultimate jutsu to end war. But actually, Obito is pulling his strings and being no, we're going to make the infinite Tsukiyomi where everybody gets to be cool and have their dream world, and there's no more pain in the world because everybody's not even real. They're in this fucking unconscious place. Literally the fucking Evangelion ending, the instrumentality. And then Madara isn't quite on that. He wants the power for himself, but I think he also wants the Tsukiyomi as well. But it's like a twist at the end because he turns on Obito. And then it's revealed that Black Zetsu actually was playing them all, and he was just trying to get Kaguya back to life, and the infinite Tsukiyomi didn't actually exist or whatever. It was just a thing to get all of the chakra in the world together in one spot. So Kaguya could come back and be the only person with chakra in the world. So there's like 4 plots on here. I don't know I don't know if Pain knew about the infinite Tsukiyomi, or if he actually thought this and Obito was just fucking with him, because I don't think Pain has ever met actual Madara. He's only met Obito. I think that's made explicit when him and Itachi come back to life and they've been reanimated, and they have the conversation about what was actually going on with that Akatsuki thing we thought we were both in charge of, or thought we were both controlling at least. Calls himself a pacifist god, Pain does here, even though he's killing everybody. That's a little wacky. He chastises Jiraiya for not being mature and being edgy like him. Jiraiya does call the red lines on his face tears of blood, though. That's cool. He does, because Jiraiya always has these red lines coming out of his eyes. He's like, these tears of blood, and he does a cool speech here. Says he isn't a man anymore. Jiraiya does. He's a sage. That was sick as fuck. But the juxtaposition here is really good of Pain being super serious and being like, we have to kill everybody to fucking be safe or whatever, and Jiraiya just being a wacky old man that's still down with the with being nice. It's cool. I like it a lot. Should we read chat? We're running out of fucking time real quick here on this stream. We've got half an hour left, actually. We'll get through the Naruto stuff. We're not going to be able to do any of the cool shit I wanted to do outside of that, though. I wanted to write the Alliance script today. I wanted to see what was going on here. We're down to 11 viewers. The political talk, is it still going on? I think it is. Positive liberty is a modern liberal principle. Is your understanding of liberalism pro-anarchy? Oh no. How much of this should I skip? Did anybody say anything about Naruto? Give me a ban. Give me mod. I'll ban conservative gamers and dumb lefties. I'm too... Well, never mind then. It's too fucking weird to give a fucking... I don't know what he would do with a sword. We're not doing it. Well, never mind then. You too many red flags have been pressed in the past. I don't understand politics. Somebody else banned for this shit. I'll ban people for bad One Piece takes at least. Lol, I never left stream because of chat before. I mean, you can just not look at chat. It seems like people were just talking about that. Naruto has so many cool designs. Why do almost all of the post-time skip designs suck compared to the pre-time skip, except for Sasuke, of course? The redesigns are all way cooler. Shove your fucking super eye patch wolf talking points up your ass. Nagato uses a wingman, was a wingman for Yahiko/Conan. True. She definitely has sex with the fucking Yahiko path road. You have to be. He has to. Nagato, like, takes the rods out, and she just uses it as sex doll. This is canonical. I'm trying to look for other Naruto and Gaara's hair ill. What are we talking about here? What's Pine Kid shit talking now? There isn't enough Mikasa X Historia fan art and hentai. That's a thing. Nagato doesn't really believe anything that much, to be honest. That's definitely not true. God, if Naruto didn't have Obito, how cool would it be? Obito's great. Nagato endorses the Tsukiyomi plan. Does he? I guess I'll have to get back to that part. Would the infinite Tsukiyomi be moral? I mean, the Naruto's answer to it is it's not real, bro. So, like, it's bad. I don't know. If you didn't know you were in the infinite Tsukiyomi, I don't know. This is actually a pretty deep philosophical question that I don't know if I can think about right now. We're still talking about liberty, apparently. So Pain couldn't have met him anyways. Yes, we did. I don't know what the yes we did was. Isn't the actual Madara dead anyways at this point? Yeah, because he's super old, but at what point does he die? Because he's still alive when Obito is crushed. He's still alive when Obito goes out to kill when Rin dies. But he's dead before the Nine Tails attack. I don't remember. Naruto's timeline is all fucking convoluted. I don't remember. No, he was on the verge of death and he transferred his eyes to Nagato. Yes, because Nagato gets the eyes because they're Obito's eyes, but they're not really Obito's eyes because Madara gave Obito the eyes, right? And then Obito gave them to Nagato, right? I don't remember. I wouldn't give mod to an alternate universe version of myself. Transplanted. But did he actually meet him in person? Do we know what they see in the Infinite Tsukiyomi or whatever? Because it's like a genjutsu, right? Yeah. Well, in the anime, there's about 1,500 fucking filler episodes about each individual character's Infinite Tsukiyomi. So I suppose it's just like a dream world where you get whatever you want. Yeah, Obito gave him to Nagato while claiming he was Madara, I think. Well, next Naruto episode to go over here. We gotta fucking speed this shit up. That was the longest write-up I had. Naruto's cool. We open 131 is a lot of battling. We open on a battle between the ungraceful frog and the replicating dog thing. The animation here is bad at the beginning of this episode. The action choreography isn't too good. It's hard to tell what's going on sometimes. Jiraiya is strong as fuck. Disappearing all the time in the dogs after it looking... disappearing all the time... Disappearing all of the dogs after it looks like the frog is dead is real cool. It looks like the frog is going to fucking die. They make you feel really, in this chase sequence, they make you feel real sympathetic for this frog. So you know Jiraiya isn't dying to some fucking dogs. He probably is dying, but not yet. And the frog is like, oh, frog doesn't have to die. Jiraiya obviously has to die for fucking narrative reasons. They telegraphed it so much at this point. Naruto is not subtle. But, like, the frog doesn't have to die. There's no narrative incentive for the frog to die. I want this fucking frog to survive. And I honestly couldn't remember if the frog died or not. So I was kind of invested in whether or not this fucking frog is getting eaten by these dogs. And they all clamp down on him. There's, like, 12 dogs on him. I'm like, oh, no, this fucking ungraceful frog, he's gonna die. But then Jiraiya pulls a big, like, I give up. And then he fucking switches up on him. And, teleports them all away again. And he's another one of these fucking dissolving fucking frog stomach things. That's super fucking cool. But yeah, that was real cool. Fucking going flat. Unbelievable. Disappearing on the frogs, fighting animals and stuff. The action choreography was like real off-putting here. I don't think anybody's watched this episode in a long time, so they probably couldn't talk about it. But it just looks real weird. Like, it feels like frames are missing. It feels like there's shots that are like disconnected that play right after each other. I like thought like fucking the episode had been like cropped wrong, so there were things happening on the sides of the frames that weren't right, but it wasn't. It was a little fucking weird. I don't know. It was very abstract. It was very like, this is where the characters go off model for a cool action sequence. But just outside of that, it just felt weirdly disconnected. I don't know. I'd have to watch the scene again to give more detailed thoughts. But yeah, the frog didn't want to die. Frog didn't die though, it teleported away. This is a game of catch. Naruto fights are fun because you can never tell if what you are seeing is real. Trying to figure out why Naruto fights are good but every other fight scene and everything else is bad. Unironically, the fucking haha you just fucked with a clone thing is super cool, and then the other one pops out of nowhere to give a big punch, and then there's a cool exchange, and then they back off, and then there's rinse and repeat. It's fucking so cool. He seems to beat all the animals and then talks how Nagato and all the natures is apparently unheard of. He says, because obviously the path he's fighting is the summoning path, because every path of pain can only do like one type of jutsu, I'm pretty sure. And this is the summoning one. So he's basically summoning all these cool-ass animals. The chameleon, the weird bird thing, the rhino. Pain has got a bunch of cool animal summons that all have Renegon eyes, and they're all fucked up. It's really cool. They look like the weirdest Pokemon you've ever fucking seen. Especially the bird dude who just has like an arrow beak and is like sent flying into the frog. I was scared for my poor frog boy, but there was a weird bit of maybe retcotting here where Jiraiya says like Nagato, because this is part of the Renegon's power, could use all 5 chakra natures, and that's unheard of. But like, Jiraiya's sensei literally could do all of that, and he didn't have the Renegon. It's like, I don't know if it's a retcon. I think like in the fight against Orochimaru, Hiruzen uses all 5 chakra natures. So it's a little weird, like, shouldn't he be like, except for the old man, he could do it. In One Piece, he would have referenced, but fucking Hiruzen could do it. I guess maybe it's a lie by omission, a retcon by omission, so, like, you don't bring up Hiruzen here to make Pain seem extra cool. But this is all part of Jiraiya's reasoning, as he's trying to figure out, like, they can only each do one thing. Because there's no reason why he should only be fighting with summons. Especially when he has all of the fucking nature types. Jiraiya's trying to figure out why he's only using summonings and why he's trying to understand what's going on with the paths of pain. He sends the Toad away. Toad Boy survived. I was happy about that. Summons the Toad and goes Sage Mode. He summons the two old Toads. It's real cool. There's a cool scene of like him in shadow and he's starting a monologue. He's talking about how he doesn't like this form because it's not very pleasing to the ladies. He's walking down this path, you can't see him. It's like, Jiraiya's going to be ugly, but he's going to look super sick. And Sage Mode comes out and he does look super sick. And apparently he needs the frogs to be able to activate Sage Mode and he can't do it on his own. I think Naruto eventually learns how to do it on his own. I feel like this is something Jiraiya probably should have mastered over the years. But he didn't. Pain has a little speech about Jiraiya and Orochimaru being full of surprises. Again, another cool callback that I would have just said like 3 years ago. Fucking Naruto never had any of how it had no consistency in its narrative and never remembered previous characters as soon as they weren't relevant to the plot. But here, fucking Pain is like, man, whether it's Jiraiya or fucking Orochimaru, all the Sannin have like 50 million weird abilities that you gotta watch out for. It's like, cool, putting Orochimaru over even after the fact that he's supposedly dead. It's fucking cool. I like it a lot. I love that little line. Again, it was a little One Piece line. Like, this would happen in One Piece and I'd feel real good about it. And even Naruto had it, even though I would probably like it in One Piece because I would be like, hey, Naruto didn't have this shit. One Piece is better than Naruto. Well, it turns out Naruto had them too, so... The frogs are interested by the eyes. The old frogs, they're like two wise old frogs. They're like, this dude has the Rinnegan. I can't wait to see it. That was another real cool little detail of like everybody knows about the Rinnegan. Everybody's like, oh shit, can we see him? I thought it wasn't even real. And then they see it and they're like, whoa, it's pretty cool. Jiraiya says that he was his former student and that he believes him to be the one in the prophecy. Jiraiya outrightly says that he thinks Nagato is the one from the prophecy. He's completely writing off Naruto, something he will correct in the episode I'm about to watch, I'm pretty sure, because he chooses Naruto to be the child over Nagato. Because he's a good boy and he's not going to choose the destructive one, he's going to choose the good one. It's going to change the ninja world or whatever. It's really cool. But it's interesting here that Jiraiya was like, no, it's Nagato. Fuck Minato. Fuck Naruto right now. It's him. The frogs have a cool reaction to this. They're like freaking out. Oh shit, that's the prophecy one. It's real cool. Oh, this is cool back. Also, there's so many frogs. This lady says fuck prophecy and then extends her tongue, catches the chameleon and cuts it in half with water pressure. This is all super sick. The old girl being like, I don't give a fuck about goddamn prophecy. I'm going to beat this idiot's ass. It was super sick. I don't remember if she also dies here. I feel like she might, right? Because only the old one is with Naruto. And then he gets skewered, and I think he gets killed, but he gets revived with the Rene Rebirth, like everybody in the Pain thing. But as part of the motivation for the old dude being so pissed off at Pain because his wife dies here, I can't remember. So this will be fun to figure out. Or is she just at home cooking, which we'll get to in a second with our Naruto is sexist thing. The lady says, fuck prophecy. I read all that stuff. Jiraiya thinks this is the moment of selection and Pain summons two of the other paths. Jiraiya says taking down Pain is his duty. You gotta love it. Responsibility. Jiraiya's taking it. We're just gonna go to the next one. And then I'll check chat at the end. Because my phone is starting to go flat faster than this fucking computer. But yes, he summons the two paths, the two absorption paths, the ninjutsu absorber and the taijutsu absorber. At least I assume that's what they are. It's real cool. I remember I used to watch Swag Kage videos and he could name all the paths and I thought that was insane. Like, I don't remember a single thing about any of the paths that isn't the Yahiko one. But it seemed easy. Like, they introduced slowly here. Like, one's introduced, then the next two, then the Yahiko one and the other one. So it's like, it's planning out, like, what each one can do. And the two that he summons are the absorbing ones. At least I think that's what they are. Maybe I'll get more explanation on that. Anyway, let's go. Episode 132. A lot of trying to figure out the paths of Pain and how they work in this episode at the beginning. Jiraiya trying to be cool is always undercut, which is a funny meme gag. Frogs literally punching him in the face was also a funny little gag. It's a good comparison and juxtaposition to Pain and his edgy seriousness, that the Toads are even beating up Jiraiya and they're all on the same side. They love each other, but they're being goofy. Because being goofy is better than being edgy. Because at least goofy guys are cool. Toad's arguing all the time is also kind of cute. One Piece does this comedic juxtaposition a lot better, though. I think it was just the dub. I don't know. In the manga, maybe Naruto is that good. Again, the dub has some awkward delivery, and it overstates itself because it gets, like, obviously anime is a lot more exposition heavy because they got to fill that fucking runtime with something, and just reiterating on what we've already been over, and, like, there's always these little things of, like, people wouldn't act this way. It's a little fucking weird, but, yeah, in the manga it's probably, like, perfect, and I should probably be reading that. But the fights are so cool. But this could be because of the awkward delivery. Look, I'm saying here, cool burning oil move. They do like a 3 at once. One of the frogs does water, I think Jiraiya does fire, and the other one does earth, and it makes oil. It's cool. Fusing them together, Naruto does that shit real cool. Massive Rasengan is then used, which is cool. I think it's the first time we've seen a massive Rasengan too. Yeah, pretty sick. The one path can absorb everything. He just starts absorbing all of the attacks. Panda summon. I had completely forgotten about this. Like, he summons a fucking panda to block some hair darts that Jiraiya shoots at him because he's in Sage mode. His hair is like a spike thing. Again, all these sick fucking powers. Because in Naruto, you can have any power you want. It's not fucking One Piece. It's not My Hero Academia with these shitty-ass fight systems where you can only have one quirk. Or maybe Midoriya has a bunch, and you can only have one devil fruit power, and then you have to, like, make a million offshoots of how to use rubber. In Naruto, you can shoot fucking spikes out of your hair, you can breathe fire, you can fuse elements with each other in a team battle to fuck this dude up. You can also sink into the ground because fuck you, shadow manipulation. You can make clones, you can disappear things, you can go into different dimensions. It's fucking sick. Eclectic power fucking thingies. It's way cooler than, like, singular, like, how do we make fire cool in a million different ways? No, you can do fucking fire, water, and wind. Fuck it. Panda summon. Talking about the logistics of the battle. It's really cool how they also talk about, like, there's a moment where he summons the panda and Jiraiya is like, if he hadn't summoned the panda and he had chosen to dodge, my next move would have had him. And it's just sort of like, oh, they're thinking moves ahead, and when moves ahead don't get do, like when you've set up a chain reaction, but the third move doesn't go, then therefore the 8 move can't go because the third move derails everything. And summoning the panda instead of dodging, and Pain probably knew that, and that's when he realizes that they all see through one set of eyes and they have 3 times the sight as Jiraiya, even though he's got 2 frogs on his shoulders because they can't communicate telepathically. He hasn't figured out that it's the chakra rods in their fucking faces that make them look edgy, but they actually have a practical use. This shit is real cool. Jiraiya doesn't realize that they can see with one set of eyes, but Pa points this out. It's cool that one of the frogs notices that and just tells Jiraiya. There's some cool-ass powers here, multiple powers. Jiraiya retreats for now. They need Genjutsu, but Jiraiya doesn't have any Genjutsu. He's like the best at everything but Genjutsu. But the frogs have Genjutsu, but they have to sing together. And remember, Naruto is sexist, and the old girl gets insecure. She doesn't want to sing at her old age because she's not as good as she used to be. She's not as pretty as she used to be. They have to convince the older frog to sing with them to save their fucking lives. It's kind of a funny tangent, but again, it's Naruto doing a weird thing where girls can't do anything. She goes on about how you shouldn't disrespect a housewife's, like, choice to cook dinner or whatever. Going on about Naruto, a lot of traditional gender roles here. None of the girls can be Hokage. They're all going to be pretty when they're older. And the cool kids, the cool dudes are going to be Hokage. Hold Naruto. Peace is on the line in this battle is a line one of the frogs says, like, the peace of world, like, world peace is potentially on the line here, and you don't want to fucking sing. The old frog says that was a pretty cool line. Jiraiya tells them to free themselves off his shoulders if their lives depend on it. Jiraiya's like, if I'm gonna fucking die, you idiots better get out of here. Which is cute, and they're like, no, we can't abandon you, Jiraiya, and it shows that they actually care about him, even though they've been doing the sarcastic tsundere thing up until now. It's cute. Jiraiya has a plan, and we cut away so we don't see his plan. They start singing, and Jiraiya tries to separate them. He separates all the pains of, like, he does a jutsu, so the one that absorbs them will come out of formation to absorb it, and then he gets that one, and he kills all 3 of these pains. He stabs them all with this cool-ass frog sword, after he traps them in this ridiculously cool, like, imagery of, like, there's 4 fucking weird-looking toads, like, and they got him in, like, a cube of water. It's like, this is some fucking Chainsaw Man shit in fucking Naruto. I'd completely forgotten about this cool-ass, like, frog dimension imagery inside a frog's stomach with 4 fucking frogs that are all posing. They all look similarly like traditional fucking Chinese fucking frogs or whatever, and they're all doing the pose, and then the 3 paths are in there, they have the talk, and they're like drowning because they're in water, and Jiraiya's standing there doing it. It's fucking sick. What is going on here? Who remembered this shit being so cool? Everybody told me the Jiraiya fight was good. I always said, fucking not that good, shut up. But now it's real fucking cool. I skipped over a bunch of my notes here. The big dude absorbed the fire jutsu. He separates them and traps them in the genjutsu. Cool looking frogs and a cube thing. They get to talk a little bit about pain and peace. They talk about this. They do the little philosophy battle for a second. And Jiraiya's like, you idiots don't know shit. And they're like, you don't know shit. And they're like, peace is good. Pain is good. Whatever. In reality, he then stabs all 3 of the bodies with a frog sword. That's cool as fuck. How did I forget all this? The frogs have sore throats, and the wife is complaining about wrinkles. Oh, that's another thing. The wife is concerned about getting wrinkles because she's a girl, you see. Girls are vain like that. Naruto is sexist. The 4th path appears. It's a really cool shot. You know Jiraiya hasn't just won, but he's walking off like he won. Again, Naruto telegraphs this shit all the time. It's not subtle at all. We know that because Jiraiya is so overconfident and the music has changed that obviously they're not dead, and obviously we haven't seen the Yahiko path fight yet. But this dude, the dude that doesn't have orange hair, the missile dude, comes out of nowhere and fucking gets Jiraiya from behind, and we later see that he chopped his fucking arm off. I'd forgotten that Jiraiya got his arm cut off before he dies here, but it is true, he does get his fucking arm chopped off. It's real cool. He just comes out of nowhere, it's real spooky. It's like, you taught us never to let our guards down, sensei. And he's all fucked up. They like knock him out into the water, and it's really cool. They're not in like the dark pipes anymore. They're out on the fucking lake, and like all 6 of them show up, and they all do this cool pose. That's the line. That's the thing here. And it's like, oh, we just fucking nearly died fighting 3 of them. They revived the 3 that we killed, and now all 6 of them are here. We're fucked, and that's how the episode ends. Now the episode ends with Jiraiya looking at the Yahiko one, who he's seeing for the first time, and being like, oh shit. It's a very overdramatic like ending of like he's realized something. Everybody knows what he's realized. They don't say it, but it's pretty fucking obvious. He's like, oh, it's Yahiko, not Nagato, which he's wrong about, but that's the misdirect. But yeah, that's the Naruto episodes I watched. Cool stuff. The Jiraiya death is real fucking good. Shout out to his dub voice actor, who I think can be very hit and miss, but his final monologue is great. Naruto might be a 10, you're just too dumb for it. True. It really makes you root for Naruto, the character, when Jiraiya says he's the child of prophecy, and it cuts to him as the baby, and then as a kid, and then with his more iconic lines from each, realizing Naruto is his legacy, is not feeling like mindlessly blowing the MC. True. We're streaming tonight, that's it. We'll talk about Naruto. I figured out why dub is bad and why sometimes it's good. Monologues in dubs are usually pretty good. It's just the awkwardness of when it's very heavy character interactions. This is evident in these same episodes I watched, where there's the cut between like Jiraiya's last like 5-minute monologue about his life and him being depressed and thinking he never did anything, and then finally he's like, well, Naruto will do it. Ninja way, pass on, inherited will thing. But then you cut to like Naruto in the group, where it's like Hinata, Kiba, Shino, Yamato, Sakura, Sai, Kakashi, and they're all running around fighting Toby. And it's just like, oh, the delivery on some of these lines is awful, and it's like they don't flow together, and it's like, I feel like if you just let a dub actor do a monologue for 5 minutes talking to himself, it's pretty good. But if you make him interact, usually it's awkward, and because obviously they're not delivering their lines in a big circle where all 7 actors are there in the same time. But with a monologue, it's just you, and you can get into it and stuff. So I think that is my latest hypothesis. Oh my god. Oh, I watched so much Naruto shit. I watched the entire Itachi Sasuke fight. It was cool. Cooler than I remembered even. It's weird. Thinking back on that fight, that Itachi was never actually trying, so it's kind of like... It kind of retconned like the fight to not be as interesting because, again, like Itachi wants to die in that fight. He will die in that fight. And the whole time he's baiting to get Orochimaru to come out so he can take the fucking curse mark thing with the fucking sword thing. And Orochimaru's like, I was looking for that sword. It was in you the entire time, Itachi. That's all great stuff. That's One Piece stuff. That's One Piece levels of thought and characterization and consistency that I just had convinced myself Naruto didn't have. But it's continuously proven that it did have that. Because the internet just slanders Naruto all the time, because it's dumb and it doesn't understand it. Everything I saw was a fucking 10. This Itachi Sasuke fight of catharsis and like for Sasuke character moments, and then the hidden subtext of knowing what's happening of just thinking about what Itachi's thinking about this entire time. Itachi's weird monologue where he tries to convince everybody that he's actually just trying to kill Sasuke for his eyes. The fake Madara backstory that accompanies it. Itachi going off about how Madara is a fool and he will be the true boy. All fucking sick. I had forgot how cool Karin was, the fucking jutsu with the Thunder Dragon, and how it actually wasn't even chakra. Sasuke was out of chakra, but he spit the flame thing up. That was also super cool, the dragon flame thing up so it could create the Thunder Crowd. And also, like, what's it called? Amaterasu is all around, like, the area. And I forget, there was some symbolic thing about that. Zetsu is also our, like, audience surrogate for this scene. He's watching the whole battle. But Itachi's setting up so much to save Sasuke, and how well thought out it is so cool for Sasuke to come and beat him in this moment and maybe take his eyes. He's implanted the Amaterasu in his eyes so that fucking if Obito, if Madara actually tries to fuck with him, he'll kill him with the Amaterasu. It doesn't quite work, but because Toby's Toby. But also he's like baiting Orochimaru to come out. So he can remove the curse mark. The last time Sasuke ever uses the curse mark is in this fight. That form's kind of lame, so I'm glad it's gone. All cool. Also, the last episode of the Jiraiya fight is fucking sick. Jiraiya's final monologue, we talked about that at the beginning of the stream in the tweets. That was sick as fuck. What did I say? Naruto Shippuden Episode. Also, the laptop's going through it. We're not going to be able to fucking read through these scripts. Maybe we'll do this. Oh my god. There's so much backed up that I have to do. The Tale of Jiraiya the Gallant is a great episode. 10 out of 10 episode. Jiraiya, like, willing himself back to life and moving his thumb. It's really cool. Pain knowing is one. And just remembering what the fucking... The message being that the... I didn't remember that the paths of pain were all people Jiraiya had, like, in his backstory that he had encountered. Like the reveal, like I'd forgotten so many of the mini reveals, and it's all really cool. Like when he beats the dude in the frog stomach, and he notices the cut underneath his headband. He's like, I know this dude, and then he realizes that it was the puppet dude and the two dudes he met in the restaurant, and Yahiko, and then he realizes the real one is not among them. No, they don't say that yet because Naruto has to figure that out later. But God, it's all fucking so sick. In between then, because after this we cut immediately to the Sasuke fight, I think. Because after this, Zetsu and Pain have a conversation after Jiraiya's dead of like, Madara told me. Pain's just given up on trying to act like he's the leader, and Zetsu obviously knows all of this because Zetsu knows way more than anybody here, or at least Black Zetsu does. Because he's actually pulling the strings. It's a double bait, which would be a quadruple bait thingy going on. So they had that planned out this long at least. Kishimoto did. He knew that Black Zetsu had to be in on all of the deeper plans. Like Kisame doesn't know that he thinks Pain is in charge. Everybody else is dead, but they all thought Pain was in charge too. It's fucking sick. But they have a conversation of like, well now Madara has told me I gotta go get the Nine Tails. So it's setting up that Pain is going to invade the Hidden Leaf Village. Can't wait to watch that shit. That shit's sick too. But then Zetsu is like, wait, I want to go and watch this other fight. So he teleports over to watch Itachi and Sasuke fight. And then that's exactly what happens. I don't know if there's anything else really to say. There's a bunch of cool little moments. I'm sure there's a million more. Like Jiraiya figuring it out. Then he's about to tell the frog. And then Pain immediately realizing that he's figured it out. And like commenting and saying, too late. And then crushing his fucking throat so he can't say it. So that he has to type it out on the frog's back with his jutsu power. It's all fucking sick. Then him floating down the bottomless well because he's the frog, haha, or the toad sage. It's real fucking cool. What's next? Banquet invitation. We got like 2 whole episodes of just like recap basically of the Itachi Sasuke stuff. The longest moment, the beginning of the fight where they're both just doing genjutsu things and Itachi is like fucking with him is real cool. The establishing stuff of like Itachi is weak because he can't dodge things he should be able to dodge. The Mangekyo thing, I'd forgotten about this visual aspect of like the visual manifestation of the Mangeki or the Eternal Mangekyo Sharingan where you have to have 2 sets of eyes. I had completely forgotten this, like, imagery existed. It was real cool. Naruto, again, with the imagery that I just didn't remember at all, being fucking sick and awesome. Not just Chainsaw Man that can do cool imagery. Fucking Naruto's got it by the boatload. But this is the Amaterasu going everywhere. It's real sick. They used Susanoo for the first time. Itachi Susanoo is so cool. It's way cooler than fucking Sasuke's. And even Madara's, I think. Obito has one at some point. So does Kakashi, of course, for the very final little bit. But I remembered Sasuke yelling, like, stay away as Itachi was approaching him. That must be from a different Sasuke moment. But Sasuke, like, freaking out as Itachi won't die and keeps running towards him, thinking he's going to take his eyes because that's been set up the whole time. The imagery of pulling eyes out of people's heads is really cool. And for him to do the thing, it's still an iconic moment of the jot on the forehead. It's real cool. It's fucking sick. And that's where I got up to. So I think that's only like 4 or 5 episodes. I don't watch as many. But the Tosca sword, the sword of Tosca, the Tosca blade. Just whipping that up, and like Itachi coming out, and then Orochimaru coming out, and thinking like, and again, because at the very beginning of this arc, Sasuke supposedly killed Orochimaru, and Orochimaru was still in there, comes out now, but then Itachi finally finishes him off, though Orochimaru will come back, of course. It's a whole thing. But it's fucking sick. Let me read chat. How many we got? 16 viewers right before we end stream. It's pronounced Crollo? Definitely not. Definitely not saying that. You were talking about Attack on Titan anyways. You're the one talking about Attack on Titan anyways. Don't talk back to Miller. He'll give you a perma. Watch out, Pine Kid. He's a madman. That is one of the best parts of Naruto, though. When the war goes into full swing, then oof, it's so boring for a while. Kisame realizes later. No, Obito tells. Like, Obito takes his mask off. I guess to reveal that he's Madara and not Obito, because I don't think Kisame knows Obito. Though Kisame might know Obito because Kisame left the village because Obito was controlling the Mizukage, right? I don't remember. I'll have to get up to that. But Kisame does realize at some point. And then Kisame opts to die for, like, the Akatsuki at that, like, way later. He eats himself with his sharks. Sick as fuck. The way Itachi's clone points his hands towards Sasuke, saying he's over there, yeah, it's pretty fucking sick. Yeah, first Susanoo is best. Shisui had the coolest Susanoo. I don't even remember Shisui's. They still haven't shown Shisui. They make him seem like he's like this 30-year-old old wise man. He's like 3 years older than Itachi. And he's like some pretty boy femme kid. I'll beat the fuck out of Shisui. I don't care how much they build him up. He looks like a little weak boy. But it's weird how they build him up for so long. Did they show his Susanoo Shisui? I don't know if it's canon. It might be from a game. I don't remember it. Thoughts on Sign as a Naruto opening? It's overrated. It's pretty good, though. What's Pine Kid linking? Fucking video. I better not be clicking on some link shit. Naruto greatest moment, Itachi on the throne. Yeah, pointing towards it is really cool. I'm watching it now on my phone. But yes. It's like, Sasuke thinks he's killed him like 7 times at the beginning. And you just gotta know that it's not over that quick. The eye powers got ridiculously OP though, especially Shisui. I mean, not really. Naruto was like equally as strong as them and he doesn't have any eye power. Even Sakura can fuck shit up and she doesn't have Sage I guess, does she have Sage power? I can't remember. I feel like the eye power is ridiculous OP. It's just a meme people say about Naruto. It's cool as fuck, but man, does it take everybody who doesn't have crazy eyes seem lame. Is that true, though? Isn't it cool that Kaguya has the Byakugan? She also has the Sharingan, Renegan thing on her head, though. But the Byakugan eyes is sick. That's really all we have to say about Naruto. It was real good. Everything was real good. Kind of slow. I couldn't tell if my computer was lagging, or there was one point where I remember there was one episode in the pain fight where I thought this as well, where like the frame, like it felt like the animation was bad and that frames were missing. But I can't remember what part of the fight it was for in the Itachi version. But I think it might have been my computer was lagging. I don't know. Because it looked real bad. Also, Itachi says that only 3 people have had the Mangekyo if Sasuke gets it, and quotes Madara as the other one. But doesn't his father also have it? Isn't that a reveal later? Did he just not know that? Is he lying about that? Or is that a little bit of a retcon, maybe? Because I remember, because Because the whole thing is Sasuke's dad wanted to be Hokage, but they chose Minato instead, and Minato was probably stronger than him, or almost definitely. So he probably was the better choice, but he was like mad that he didn't get chosen, so that's why he starts this rebellion shit, right? Shisu is definitely the most OP power that does absolutely nothing. Yeah, he's like a plot device for Itachi's backstory. Yeah, Naruto is like the one exception. I mean, it ends the war, right? His eyes can cast genjutsu, creating a world of their own, I guess. I don't think his dad has it. Does he not? Is this just something maybe this is a filler episode I thought was canon, but I feel like... Wait, his fucking page was down here. Let's look at this. We're not going to be able to read through any of this stuff. I really wanted to read through the Alliance stuff. I guess we can do that tomorrow. The fucking chapter review is going to take the whole fucking stream. Are we going to have to stream again the day afterwards to catch up on all this shit? I'm probably going to write more of those scripts as well before then. Well, probably not, because tomorrow will be spent making a whole PowerPoint. Do we have to stream twice tomorrow? I was talking to Miller about doing this. Age part 140, deceased, height. Mangekyo anime only. It was a fucking anime episode I got fucking fooled by. Okay. I thought that was really cool, though. I'm kind of sad it wasn't true. But yeah, it does contradict this. So it did happen, but it was just in the anime. Head of the Uchiha clan, captain of the Konoha military police force. He was a Jonin, of course. I'm kind of interested in Sadara. I think she's kind of cool. What about his wife? What was she? Was she a Jonin too? We never see her fight, though. At least we get some allusions to the other dude fighting. She was also a Jonin. Because her and Kushina were friends. Get it? Because everybody was friends. Occupation, housewife. There's quite a bit written about her. But I think my hell in this fucking overheated car might be coming to an end. I'm having a fucking shower after this one. He was talking about people who were alive. Maybe, but I think he just meant historically. That's false, because Itachi Sasuke versus Kabuto Itachi, while explaining the Izanami, the girl has MS. Maybe. Read it now. Well, it's on the wiki. He has it, I guess. Well, it said anime only. Script might change after this chapter. It definitely might. Attack on Titan chapter and anime episode. I forgot about that fucking shitty episode. Was it Jonin and the housewife because Naruto is sexist. Was she having Sharingan? I'm sure she did. If she was a Jonin, almost definitely, right? They do try and say at the beginning, like, this Sharingan is only in a certain amount of, like, in special Uchi. I guess, like, Sasuke's aunt and uncle weren't really, like, military people, so they didn't have it. Maybe it was just in select few. I don't know. Do we got any fucking notifications on YouTube before we end it? How long have we been going? An hour and 45? We're ending this thing. I'm sweating everywhere.